Hey, it's another time on Real Life with Dr. AB. And as always, you know what we do here. We tend to shed light on factors and issues that concern us as women, as men, and as a community. And today we have another special guest, and she's a mother of 3. Trust me, she looks nothing like a mother. She breaks all protocols when it comes to motherhood. She's a designer. She's a friend also. And she's here to talk about something, major depressive disorder, particularly postpartum depression. A lot of women probably know what this is. Some of you are probably just hearing it for the first time, but let's find out what it is. Hi, Precious. Welcome to Real Life with Dr. AB.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. Your introduction is
very heavy.
Yeah.
You look very nice.
Thank you so much. And you too.
Okay. So as what's the word? Culture, we have questions that are written down for you. Just some things that we want you to talk about from a very personal point of view.
Okay.
So looking at you now, a lot of people will be thinking, is she really a mother? Is she really a mother of 3?
Confirmed.
Okay, so just tell us briefly about motherhood, what it is to be a mother, and particularly a mother of 3.
Okay, so motherhood, just one word. Very, very, I don't want to use the wrong word, but
no, just it's express yourself.
Yeah, motherhood is very satisfying. I mean, you feel very blessed. I feel very blessed having my children. It's a bit of a struggle for me because every day I'm learning. Every day I'm trying to find a balance to motherhood, family, work, life, find a real balance to it. So it's not an easy fit. And if you want to have a wholesome, growing kids in this time and generation, you have to be very present. So you have to be present at home. You have to be present at work. You have to be present for your spouse as well. So it's
a lot.
It's a whole lot at the same time to deal with. But I'm very blessed and I'm happy. Of course.
I like how you keep saying you're very blessed because I know some people will probably be saying, oh, I don't even have a child. She has 3 and she probably wants to, people view motherhood from very different perspectives. Some people have children like, I wish I didn't have 3. It's just too much work for me. Some people feel, oh, I wish I even had more. So that's why I just asked. So you tell us from your own personal, journey. Yeah. What's having 3 kids is like, but I feel like you're winging it well. I feel like
you think so. Yeah.
I think
it looks
so.
very glamorous from the outside,
Okay.
But when you come in, obviously there are everyday little details that go into taking care of children, knowing when they're mentally okay, like they're happy. Are you okay? Because as a mom, you can think maybe my child wants this X, Y, and Z, but that child probably needs something else. Do you understand? Like my first child, she likes me to be around. Regardless of what I do for her, like maybe get grandma to come over, get friends to come play with them.
She still wants
my presence, particularly. She cries when I go out, like every single day.
Wow.
And she's 9. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she's surrounded by family, aunties, grandma and all that, but she just wants me to be present.
Well, that's a good thing. And it says a lot about you as a mother. It means that when she was growing up, you were very present in her life. So for her to constantly want you to be around, it must mean that she really loved you as a mom. So like I said, I think you're really winging this thing really well.
Anyways, I wouldn't say otherwise. Thank you. If you think so, thank you.
All right. So, there's another angle that we want to talk about today, which is why you're on the show today.
Of course.
And this is postpartum depression. Now, a lot of women who are watching right now probably don't know, like I said, don't know what this is. Probably have heard it or had the symptoms and don't even know what it is. So you've had a child. And normally, pregnancy takes you on a journey, both physically, emotionally, and otherwise. There's so many factors that come into play when you're pregnant.
Sure.
And so some people just feel, oh, I'm just going to have a child, have the baby, and all will be well. I'll be okay. But some women don't come out on the other end completely all right.
Yeah.
So a few days after, they're having the blues. So they're extremely tearful. They're feeling down. They're feeling overwhelmed. The baby blues. But for some people, it kind of stretches where they have complete lack of interest in things that they would normally like. They don't want to be around people. They're feeling completely down. There's loss of appetite, probably weight loss, weight gain, depending on whether you have increased or reduced appetite. So that's what we're trying to look at now, because I know a lot of people listening have experienced this. A lot of people. It's just we're not in the culture of always speaking up. And that's why even when these things are happening, there's not a lot of
There's no
knowledge
help,
on it. So did you go through that, and what pregnancy did you experience these symptoms?
Yeah, definitely. I went through postpartum depression. And mind you, at the time, I didn't know it was called postpartum depression.
Okay.
Never heard about it before. So I had it with my first child.
Okay.
So I was thinking maybe my mom will be there with me right after I have my baby. I traveled to have my baby. So I was in a different country altogether. I had little or no family with me. So I had the baby and I just felt all alone. I didn't know I had postpartum depression. It was my aunt. I was staying with her and she called my husband and she was like, I think your wife is going through, postpartum depression. I was like, what's postpartum depression? And I Googled it and I was like, oh my God, I'm going through it. But at that time, I couldn't help myself.
You were feeling what you were feeling.
I was feeling what I was feeling. I felt like, I'm not prepared for this child. A baby is having a baby. Like I saw myself as a child and I just had, do you get? So I was like, a baby just had a baby. I don't know what to do. Like this girl is crying so much. I don't know what to do with this baby. She had, a skin reaction because of, a particular product, a baby product we used.
Okay.
So everything was just too much for me at the time. I saw her skin peeling off and, all of that. So I was like, how am I going to go back to Nigeria with this baby? This baby is not cute. Like what's going on? Do you get? So a lot of things were going through my mind. Like at that time, I wouldn't take a shower for hours. Like I didn't want to do anything.
Complete lack of interest
in doing anything. And I'm someone that I like the finest things of life. And can you imagine? I don't want to do anything. I don't want to dress up. I'm not interested in anything at all. Do you get? So it was a bit too much for me. I don't know if it was the age thing or maybe I needed family present I needed family present because I remember my mom, I spoke to her and I told her that I wasn't feeling okay with myself. I wasn't happy with the way things were going with the baby. She was always on a video call with me. My mom was meant to travel with me, but my dad had his surgery at the time.
Okay.
So, he was going through a medical health related issue as well.
Okay.
So my mom had to be present for my dad and I had to travel alone. My husband was meant to be there with me. Work called, he couldn't come. So it was just too much. So when I spoke to my mom and I explained to her the things I was experiencing, so they had to send my elder sister to come and be with me. When my sister saw me, she opened the door. Like when I opened the door and she saw me, she started crying.
Oh.
Like my sister started crying. I looked completely different. Like I looked like a stranger, like I don't know, something else.
Been through hell and back.
Yeah. I found out that when my sister came, both of us, we broke down. She cried. I cried. She was like, you look strange. There's something
definitely wrong.
No, something is wrong with you. And she just helped me from then on. She was like, go and sleep. I'm going to have the baby. Don't worry. Everything is fine. So it was my first child. And you know how it goes with fresh pregnancies. You have stitches and all of that. So it was too much.
Yeah.
It was too much for me mentally.
Wow, I can imagine. But then there's something you just said now that I wanted to come back to. It said it felt like a baby had a baby.
Yeah.
So it means that you were young, rather young to have had a child.
I don't know what is considered young.
No, I meant for yourself because you still
considered myself
young.
Yeah. I don't know what's young. Some people
that's relative to different people.
Yeah, some people have babies at 16, 17, 18. I don't know. But I considered myself quite young.
I don't know if it's okay to ask how old were you when you had your first child?
I was 21.
Okay.
I was 21.
Okay.
So I 21, 22 thereabout. Okay. I considered myself young. I don't know. And I've been like babied all my life. Yeah, I've been babied.
So mommy wasn't there to baby you.
No
you had to baby another baby.
Yeah, I had to do the whole thing by myself. My aunt was great. She was wonderful. She was awesome. But I just needed that motherly.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't know how to describe it.
I
don't want to stumble on this video and go like, oh, so I didn't take care of you. No, she did an excellent job, but I just wanted.
No, it's a feeling. It's like how we say nobody can take care of a child better than the mother. Well, it's a feeling. So no matter what somebody else does, you can't substitute the love of a mother. Well, these days, foster mothers, everybody, you see how somebody would adopt a child years later and they're like, oh, I still want to know my biological mother. Yeah. So it's just a feeling. So that's that. But that's the thing. You've pointed out one major factor, which is support.
Sure.
Because most people feel like when somebody's pregnant or you have a child,
Yeah.
as a mother, you're supposed to do everything.
No.
Spousal support, family support.
Now, let me show
very
you.
important.
My second child, I insisted. I told my husband, you know what? I'm not going anywhere if you're not coming. I don't want to hear work or whatever reason. You have to be there. And good thing, my second child, I gave birth to her around December. So holiday period, beautiful. So we all traveled together. I had a blast. I was so happy. Right after the baby, I was so excited. Everything was going on well until he left me and went back to Nigeria.
And it started again.
So obviously, so for me, I think it's that family thing, or maybe spousal support, as you said. Maybe either of the two, but I know I love to be around family when I am pregnant, definitely. So because I've experienced both.
That's great. So that means, from what you're saying now, you didn't really receive an official diagnosis.
No, I didn't.
It was more of somebody who's experienced, saw that you had the symptoms, and then definitely.
I wasn't happy. Nothing was exciting to me. When I got there at first, I would cook, I would do things, I would go out. Oh, let's go shopping. Let's buy things for the baby. I was excited. Oh, baby name, this one, that one. My labor was very, very quick, like super quick. Baby came in good time, good condition. Everything was okay.
But that drive just
went away. Like I wasn't happy. I wasn't excited. Nothing my aunt did was enough.
Great. Well, shout out to your aunt.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people be wondering, oh, okay, I wish I had an aunt that was there for me like that. Because like you said, you're in a foreign place, foreign people, you don't know everybody, just your aunt, but that's really not enough.
She threw me a baby shower. She was awesome. That's what I'm telling you. Like, she was really good to me. She threw me a baby shower. Her friends came. They didn't know me from anywhere, but
so that's the thing. So it's a baby shower, but it didn't feel like a baby shower. Probably didn't feel like a baby shower because you didn't have your friends there and people present.
My own family, or I don't know.
Okay, so that means, aside the fact that family wasn't there and there wasn't that spousal support in terms of physical presence, what other factors do you think triggered that for you? Do you think that was the only thing? Because for some people, there are lots of things that trigger postpartum depression. Status, socioeconomic status, like financial status, financial status, other stressors. So domestic violence in marriage, issues with family, there's that. Some people have history of depression in the family. So for you, was it just that physical presence of your spouse or family that just triggered it, or were there other factors you think that could have contributed? Yeah,
it will be definitely physical presence of my spouse, because like I said, my second pregnancy, he was there
and everything was fine.
Everything was fine. And he left back to Nigeria.
Back to square one. So the symptoms you had after he left, were they just as severe as the first one?
No, obviously not. But I just wanted to leave in that same moment. Like, let's go. I'm done.
That may not be depression. That may just be attention. But that's different.
Well, I don't know, because the people that were around me at the time also were complaining.
Okay.
Like, you're now locked up in the room. You don't want to come out anymore. We're coming, you're going. What's going on? It wasn't like this like a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Do you understand? I don't know if it's the attention, because they were very present as well.
Okay.
They were very happy people, like very accommodating, very hospitable as well. But I wasn't just feeling anything immediately my husband left. So I don't know if it's attention or
strong spousal support.
Strong spousal
emphasis
support.
on strong.
Very, very.
Okay, so the thing about postpartum depression, it's in categories. Now, rarely there are people that experience postpartum psychosis. That's actual hallucination, intrusive thoughts, suicidal ideations, wanting to kill themselves or wanting to harm the baby. There are different categories of this thing. And I know I'm speaking for a lot of women who have experienced this. And in some cultures or in some places, people are like, oh no, it's a spiritual problem, but it's not.
No.
That hormonal overdrive, that all those factors that we've talked about comes into play. Some people, like I said, domestic violence. Lucky for you, that's not your issue. But some people, that's it. So that's what I'm asking. In your own symptoms, were they just a lack of interest? Or did you have severe symptoms where you didn't want to carry your baby? You were was it just an avoidant personality type of thing?
Avoidant personality, one. Two, I know I also thought about like just going away with the baby. Jigga, like
overwhelming thoughts.
Yeah. I thought about going away with the baby and not coming back to Nigeria. Not because I don't want to come back to Nigeria. But I was also thinking, like, why is my child breaking out? Like, this is a newborn baby. People are not going to love my child. People would see my child and ask me questions like,
So
why
intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, why, a lot of things were going on with me, and they were there for a very long time until those thoughts were, there for a long time until my sister came and she, she started talking about the baby in a very wonderful
positive way.
Yeah, like, oh, baby's so cute. She looks like me. She looks like, I'm like, really? You think baby's cute? Like,
I think this baby's not cute.
Yeah, I'm like, baby's not cute. Like, baby's breaking out. Baby's having, I don't know, there's a name they call that thing that happens to children, because I took a picture of it and sent to my mom. And she was like, oh, no, that's fine. Once you guys come back, we'll take care of it and all that. But for me, I'm like, people are thinking like, oh, she traveled to have a baby. Why she coming back with this coffee? So a lot of things were, bothering me at the time. I thought about going away with the baby. I'm like, oh, if my husband is not here, then I'm going away with the baby. You're not going to see the baby. I'm going to make you pay for it. Like, crazy
thoughts.
Random
so
thoughts.
Intrusive thoughts.
But not killing or suicidal or anything like that.
Okay. That's great.
More like babyish behavior.
So did you receive any medical intervention? So for some people, just therapy, psychotherapy, or just counseling works. Now, we usually would say you should see a licensed therapist, but sometimes it could just be family talking to you, like somebody, like you said, your auntie already knew what postpartum depression was. Yes. So some people already have an idea what you're going through and probably will counsel you through the process. So did you receive actual medical intervention or were you just counseled out of the process?
I was counseled out of the process. Yeah, my auntie was, she kept having that strong feeling like you're going through something. I don't know what it is. I feel it's postpartum depression, but I don't know what's depressing you because they're like, my kids are here, her own kids around. Everybody's trying to make you feel as comfortable as possible. So she couldn't understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling. So she kept talking to me. When she's in the sitting room, she'll call me, oh, let's do this, come, give me the baby, go and sleep, and all these kind of things until my sister got there as well. And we started doing fun things like
together,
sibling kind of bonding. And yeah, I got over it.
Okay. So now for someone who's experienced this and to people who are watching, I want to know how you came out of it. You've already said, the counsel, but the thing is, it's one thing for people to counsel you. Yeah. And then mentally you have to tell yourself, okay, I don't want to get out of this thing. I don't want to be like this for my baby. Yeah. So what would you advise people that are going through postpartum depression, baby blues, whatever the case? Because once we get to the point of psychosis, when we're talking about suicidal ideations, that's no longer counseling. Yeah. It's no longer counseling. There's definitely medical intervention. Sure. But at the point where we're having like moderate to severe depression, they will still need medical intervention with medications, depending. That's for psychiatrists, to decide. But what I'm saying is, for people who are beginning to experience these symptoms, watching you now, what would be your own advice? What do you think they need to do? What do you think they should do when they suspect or they feel they're going through postpartum depression?
Well, I feel like the first things first, you need to point out what's triggering your postpartum depression. For me, I know what it is now. If I'm pregnant now, obviously I have to go with somebody like my mom or my spouse or sibling, not just like a relative, or do you understand? So you need to find out what triggers your depression or postpartum depression. I don't know. And try to, if it's financial, if it's maybe money, economic issues, then maybe don't go too far away from your family or something. I don't know. For me, I'm just speaking from my own point of view. For me, I know it's about having that support from family, like immediate family, spouse or mom or sister or brother or something. So I wouldn't make that mistake again, because it happened to me in my first and second pregnancy. And my third child, my mom was there with me throughout. So I didn't feel anything. No, I just came back. I was happy, normal. Do you understand? So if I'm pregnant again, I'm not going to be pregnant. If I'm pregnant
are you sure your husband wants to hear you say that?
No. So for me, I know once I'm pregnant, I already know what to do to avoid any recurrence or something like that.
Of your symptoms.
Yeah, of any of the symptoms I experienced in the past. And if you're not pregnant, obviously now the awareness of postpartum depression is more, people are talking about it slowly. and it's out there. Just find out what triggers your depression or postpartum depression and
address it.
And address it.
Before we round off, I would like to highlight some factors. Postpartum depression is very common, a lot more common than people would think. And that's because people are getting pregnant and having children every day. And prior to getting pregnant, some people get pregnant without being mentally ready for the pregnancy. So another thing that triggers people is having an unwanted pregnancy. Maybe you're not mentally ready, you're not financially ready, whatever the case is. But you've heard from her, and I'm speaking now from a medical point of view. There's several reasons why the symptoms can occur. But regardless of why it's happening to you or why you're experiencing the symptoms, the only thing I would say is get help. Because I think a lot of people are afraid to speak up or afraid to get help because they think once they say, oh, I'm experiencing these things or feeling this way about my baby, that makes me a bad person or that makes me a bad mom. So there's feelings of guilt, anxiety. But I can completely tell you that those things can be normal. It's not, when I say can be normal, because you're not the only person experiencing it. And sometimes as women, our hormones come to play. So there's so many things that can overwhelm you. Sure. Sometimes you're just going through your period. Your premenstrual symptoms sometimes will feel like you're about to, can make you feel like you're going through so much. So how much more, bringing in life. So I would really just say get help. And for family and spouses, my own advice really is that when somebody is pregnant and going through that journey, be there. That's the only thing you can do, because you're not the one carrying the pregnancy, and there's so much changes that are caused within a person. So your only job, I would say, well, for the men aside providing finances, because I think that's part of their job. So I don't want to skip that out because Mrs. Precious is giving me the look that that's not their only job. So aside the providing, financial support as a husband, as a father, you have to be present, because that emotional support goes all the way. And that's in all facets of life. It's not just until the child is born. It's also after the child is born. Now, I'd also like to state, we talk about postpartum depression, but this actually happens prenatally. So it actually starts, for some people, it starts in pregnancy.
Yeah, true.
So it starts in pregnancy and then carries on up until delivery. Born, so when that is not addressed, so for some people thinking, okay, it's after I give birth, you can actually experience the symptoms in pregnancy, and then they can just extend till the baby is born. So whatever the case is, you've heard from her, you've heard from me, you've heard from us. So please do well to get some help. I hope that you've taken 1 or 2 lessons home. I hope that you've known or learned a thing or two. If you know anyone experiencing these symptoms, please guide them to this video. And of course, if you still have questions for Mrs. Precious or for myself, just go right to the comment section, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye, guys.